Hello and welcome to The Real Talk. Our guest today saw a gap and founded a company that would promote and publicize Afro music. I am excited about this conversation because it's at the heart of what Africa is. Welcome. We're coming to you from Mythos Boutique in Kiyovu. That's Mythos Boutique Hotel in Kiyovu. You should check them out. My name is Jackie Lumbasi. Our guest is Olivier Laouchez.
Hello.
Pleasure to have you here with us, Olivier.
No, I'm very happy to be here.
Thank
it's my
you.
pleasure.
Thank you so much. So, it's until I was preparing for this conversation that I heard of Martinique.
Oh, wow. You didn't know Martinique?
I didn't know
It's a
Martinique.
tiny island, very small island in the Caribbean.
Does it have like 10 people or what?
A little bit more, 350,000.
That's not a little bit more. That's a lot.
but within this population,
Yeah.
a lot of very important people came from Martinique. If I tell you, for instance, Aimé Césaire, who's a very famous writer, was really someone who influenced a lot all the African movement of independence. So I can tell you Frantz Fanon also was another very influential people from Martinique.
Wow.
So there have always been some big relationship between Martinique and Africa.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting. Tell us about that place. We'll start where your journey started. Today, for you who doesn't know, Olivier is the executive chairman and the founder of Trace Group. So today you sit here as the executive chairman of Trace. But then where does your story begin? Take us back to that island.
Obviously, it started with my parents. And, in fact, I was not born in Martinique. At the time, my parents were a student in France, but at the age of 2 or 3, they went back to their country of origin, Martinique. And I've been raised in Martinique, in this tiny but beautiful island, and with a lot of music influence. At the time, it was really the explosion of reggae music with Bob Marley. We had a Kassav, who invented the Zouk music. In the Caribbean, we invented also salsa, merengue, bachata, reggaeton. So altogether, all the Caribbean islands represent about 38 million people. But I can tell you, our influence on the global scene of music has been extremely powerful, because most of the music that we invented in the Caribbean became global.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a big fan of reggaeton, for example. Yeah.
Daddy Yankee and all these guys, you know
I
that?
love Daddy Yankee.
Oh,
Oh,
I love
goodness.
Daddy
Yeah.
Yankee.
I do. And so how was your childhood? How was it growing up in that place? What kind of child were you? Playful, danceful? Do you know how to dance at least? Because
Don't ask me a demonstration now. But yes.
I was about to ask.
No. No, I know. You have to know how to dance if you want to date beautiful girls when you're a teenager. It's important. But I was, first of all, I can tell you, I was blessed. I was privileged because my parents had a good position. My mother was a teacher. My father was a banker. So I can't say that I had problems when I was young. I was a little bit, how to say that, disruptive. I didn't like the authority, whether it's from my parents, whether from the teachers, whether it's a system. So I wanted a little bit to make the revolution, So
You always broke the rules.
a little bit, yes. And I wanted to do things that whenever someone will tell me it's not possible, I will really get a lot of motivation to make it happen. So I was a good student at school, but still I had a certain problem of discipline when I was at my lycée. But eventually had a very, very good childhood.
That's good.
Martinique is an island, so it's a Caribbean island, certainly one of the most beautiful region in the world.
Yes, I saw a few pictures, a lot of pictures. Not a few.
Yeah, no, it's
online. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Really on the people. I think what I like in Martinique also, we are a kind of melting pot of people. A big part of the population come from Africa, because of the slavery. But you had people also from Latin America. You've got people from India, from China, from Europe. So there's a lot of, mixed blood, and also a lot of cultural fusion.
Yeah.
On one of the very famous writers in Martinique named Édouard Glissant, invented this concept of what they call in French, tout monde, that means all the world. Somehow the Caribbean people really represent the entire universe, the entire world, and we try to capture the best of everyone.
You do. How many siblings do you have?
I've got two brothers, one who's older than me, and the second one with the age of my son.
Oh, that's young, eh?
Yeah.
I wonder, at what age then did you discover Africa? When did you
I think it was
know
thanks
this
to Bob
place?
Marley. It was
Thanks to Bob
In fact,
Marley.
there was two things. Bob Marley, because he did, this album with this song "Africa Unite,"
Yeah.
and he was a
Africa
very
Unite.
strong, absolutely advocate of bringing together the people of black origin, of African origins. So to discover your roots, he was very influential. Second, as part of my family who went to Ivory Coast. So I've got my few uncles, aunts. They want to set up in Ivory Coast. So I have some cousins from Ivory Coast. So time to time we'll see each other during the holidays.
Yeah. When was the first time that you set foot on the continent?
Oh,
Do you recall that?
No, I recall the first visit I did in Africa was in Senegal. I wanted to visit the island of Gorée. Gorée is a place where most of the slaves from Western Africa started their journey to the Caribbean, to the USA. And it's a very strong, moment. And I remember I cried when there's this place in Gorée where they call it the door of no return.
Oh, goodness.
So can you imagine, you arrive, you see a door, and you see the ocean. And you imagine the millions of people who went there, they put them in a boat, put them, the
chained them,
chains and everything.
never to return.
Never. The only thing they could keep with them was their culture, their language. But even that, it was difficult for them to express it at first. So I wanted to start my journey in Africa with this trip in Senegal, and it was about 30 years ago.
I love that you've given us a little bit about that early time of your life. Let's come to forming Trace Group. What prompted you,
It's always an addition of a lot of things. You don't wake up like this in the morning, oh, I'm going to create Trace.
That's the thing. So, and that's why I would love you to take us through that.
Absolutely. First of all, when I was a student, I was already passionate about writing, about journalism. At a certain time, I wanted to become a journalist. So I created a newspaper in my school, very successful. It worked well. We used to sell it. And so they give me already a sense of appetite for the media industry. And then after having done my studies, I did a Paris Business School in France. I came back to Martinique. And at that time, there was only one TV channel owned by the French government, and there was no private TV channel. And I say, we need to have a different voice. We need to give the possibility to all these people who are not part of the establishment to really express themselves. So I decided to create a TV channel.
How old were you?
I was 25.
25, my goodness, okay.
And it took a bit of time, and eventually I managed.
Yeah.
And I created ATV, Anti-Television, which is still running right now. And it was a fantastic experience. I learned a lot. And one of my objectives, I wanted all the 250,000 people in Martinique somehow one day to come to the studio and to have their moment of glory at this TV channel. So it was what we call a proximity TV, a local TV, very close to the people, to their passion, to their center of interest, to everything. I consider that even the most unknown people can be a hero.
Exactly. Everyone has a
got
story. I agree with you.
So I wanted to capture that, to put it on screen, and I did it. And whenever you do TV in the Caribbean, you are very close to music, because music is really part of the day-to-day culture of the people. So I had a lot of relationship with artists. And at that time, it was in the 90s, 1990s, it was the time of the explosion of hip-hop music in the US. And the second biggest scene of hip-hop was in France, especially with artists of Caribbean, of African origins. And still now, France is the second biggest market in the world for hip-hop music.
Interesting.
And I realized that hip-hop was not just a music, it was a movement. It was the voice of a generation. So
Culture and lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create a media that will capture this reality and take it to the world, not being an American, because the American has got so many resources, are so talented, they can take over the entire world, especially in entertainment, but they will never express the voice that we from the Caribbean or from the black diaspora of the world we like to express. So I said, let me try to set up or launch a media company that will really be focused on this reality, focus on these communities. And this is the beginning of my thinking that eventually happened to the launch of Trace.
Yeah, wow. So how was the beginning of that? Were you very sure that it was going to work? Were you apprehensive? Did you receive the full support of the government, for example?
Oh, I think by my DNA is being an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to do things and I want to be my boss. I told you I don't like that much authority, so I needed to create my own company. So when you've got a vision and also an ambition and a conviction that there's something to be done, there's a gap in the market, you will fill this gap because there was no media company like this, that gives you a lot of energy and resilience because it was not easy. Once I decided that I wanted to create what became Trace, it took me nearly 4 years to really find the funding, the partners. At the time, I didn't have much money. So eventually, this American bank, Goldman Sachs, accepted to invest in the project. And about 1 month after I met with them, they told me, oh, there's this guy, this Franco-Togolese guy, Claude Grunitzky, who created a magazine, a print magazine, Trace magazine. He's also looking for investors. We'll prefer to merge your TV project on his magazine so that at the beginning you will be bigger. I said, no problem. I don't know that much the magazine business, but let's go. So eventually, Goldman Sachs gave us a few $1 million, and we acquired also an existing TV channel named MCM Africa. It was part of Lagardère Group, a bigger French group media company. And we acquired the Trace brand and the Trace magazine, and we put all this in the same company. And that was the beginning of the story. It was 20 years ago.
So when you were creating Trace, and especially with Africa on your mind, at the time, which African musicians did you know? And how much of African music?
No. In fact, I knew quite well because after Martinique, when I launched my TV channel, I stayed in Martinique during about 7 years. And then I wanted to launch my TV channel. And I told you it took me 4 years. And during these 4 years, I became the managing director of a record label named Sector A, which was one of the biggest independent record labels in France. And we used to have 90% of our artists were of African origins. For instance, you know Koffi Olomide?
Yeah.
We had a group named Quartier Latin Academia, which was a little bit a spin-off of one of the group of Koffi Olomide, so it was a Congolese group. So we used to produce this group. We had a Singila. Singila is a very famous also Congolese singer. So we had a lot of African artists.
Okay.
So this is where I started becoming quite familiar to the reality of all these artists, and also to the fact that they could not really be exposed on the traditional media in France. So that reinforced my conviction that there was something to be done to offer this type of new platforms.
And and yet at that time, a lot of those musicians were actually singing from France. They were based there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so a lot of people attribute the success of Nigerian music to Trace. Because there was a time when there was lots of Nigerian videos and South African videos. And, we wondered, is it because of the high population that these two countries have? Is it the unique beats? Is it that they're two big economies?
I think the number one responsible for the success of Nigerian music, of Afrobeat, are the Nigerian artists. They are responsible. We have been an accelerator. And it's true, recently I was with Burna Boy in Portugal at the end of a festival, Afro Nation. And I haven't met him before, so I wasn't used to him. He was singing. When they told him who I was, he jumped. Wow, you are Trace, thank you very much. With you, we'll never be what we are. So I recognize that we played a role in that, but also because they do very good music. And you could see also the investments they made as far as the quality of their music videos, the beat, the collaboration. There's a dynamism in the Nigerian music scene, which is quite amazing. So from the very beginning, we capture this reality. You're right, 200 million people help to have also a good artist.
Yeah.
And eventually, the fact also that part of their songs are English, so that means they can also more easily take over the American, the UK market.
They're
Which
easy to
are,
market, huh?
yeah, which are big. But you know, the first big guy like Forever, like D-Bench, like P-Square, and I think they understood the codes of entertainment from the US. You know, for them, the US is the model, and they try to adjust this model to their Nigerian reality. But the good news with them, they always keep their authenticity. They will not copy paste the American. They will take what they think is good for them, and they will adapt it and bring their flavors, their local Nigerian dimension, which is quite unique. And then they will release their song. And they did invest a lot also in the music videos. You know, when we started Trace 20 years ago, a lot of people told me, Olivier, there's no future for African music because look the quality
Look at the
of
video
music
quality.
It's impossible. You can't put that on a channel. I say, yes, now you're right. And we started educating the market. We started having a lot of conferences in most African countries to tell the people, guys, there is this platform now, it's for you. But if you don't make the effort of producing good music video, we go nowhere. And at a certain time, we even help produce certain music videos because we love the music, but the music video is not good. So yeah, so I think we created a momentum that a lot of artists decided to embrace. They understood the power of the visual, of the image, of the TV, and they played the game. And eventually it worked.
What should the rest of Africa do? You know, you speak with such admiration for the Nigerian musicians. What can the rest of Africa do
First of all,
to get to that spot of your heart?
I understand, but
Olivier.
I am admirative of all African music.
Yeah.
Each one has got his identity, his authenticity, but some of them are much more powerful to take over the global market. If you take Senegal, Senegal has got a music named Balax. I'm sure that you don't know it very well.
No way.
Because it's very local. It's so specific, it's very difficult for them to export this music. But they love it. It's part of their culture. And so I think we must not consider that everybody must be at the same level. And now you've got this massive Afrobeat wave from Nigeria. Remember, a few years ago, it was from DRC. You had the rumba from Congo. Even here, it's extremely powerful. And with all these artists, Fali Poupa, Inos Bey, Kofi, still very, very powerful. But now there is this Nigerian wave. There's also the Amapiano. From, I live in South Africa. So Amapiano is also extremely important. You've got the Coupé Décalé from Ivory Coast. So you've got the Kizumba in Angola and Mozambique. What is great about music in Africa is also the diversity.
Okay.
And no one would like to listen to only one type of music. Yeah.
True.
So for me, yes, they dominate a little bit, the Nigerian, we can see that.
But not a little bit. Let me tell you, Olivier, they're a problem to us. As a media person, and I've seen it around the region, you'll find people complaining. How come Kenyan musicians complain? How come radio presenters are not playing our music? Tanzanians will say the same thing. At least Tanzanians do play a lot of their music. But no, Nigerians just took over. They're a problem. We love them so much, but man, I wish we could hate them.
We at Trace, right now, we've got 29 different TV channels. Because we consider that you have to adjust, adapt, offer to the people what they really love, and most of the time it's their local music. Yeah. So these 29 TV channels are not just Nigerian music based. And Senegal is with the local music, and DRC is the local music.
Niger.
So, and obviously, the Nigerian artists are a little bit more crossover, a little bit more Pan-African. And this is why I can tell you, go to Angola, I think people consume 70% of local music, more than anything else. And I'm sure that also here, your local artists, Bruce Melody, plus the artists from the region like Diamond Platinums, are extremely powerful also. But it's true that the Nigerian machine is a big machine because you've got the feeling that every other day there is a new artist coming. And look what recently happened with Rema on the Calm Down song. It's why it took over the world.
Yeah.
It took over the world. But this music is so I will say it's the vibe when you listen to this music is so powerful. It's a little bit like, remember Jerusalem from Nomsebo
Oh, yes,
in South America?
Jerusalem.
It was 3 years ago. Same thing, feel good music that work everywhere.
Yeah. There was a time in the recent past, we've seen a lot of American artists either fixing some Afro beat in their music or collaborate with an African artist. For example, you mentioned Rema when I was just thinking of Rema and Selena Gomez. Exactly. And then, so Trace is big on the continent. The reason I'm bringing this up is just to find out, is it that Africa is becoming big in the music market? Are we doing something right today that we never did in the past?
I think definitely. There was also a lot of investment in music. If we talk about Rema, the record label of Rema is named Mavin Records with Don Jazzy, and one of their biggest shareholders is a big American private equity group who put money to help them restructure, develop the label. And I'm saying that because their shareholder is also a shareholder of Trace, so I know them quite well. I mean, this investment, in Nigeria, they take it seriously. They consider that culture, music, and Nollywood are serious businesses. So they will put the resources, but at the same time, creativity doesn't need that much, a lot of cash investment. To write a song, you don't need money to write a song, to have a, but these guys work a lot also. They work. It's not something that happens like this. They spend a lot of time in studio. They listen a lot of things that is happening in the rest of the world, and they've got multiple influences. They test, they adjust, they learn, and then they release when they are ready.
Yeah.
So I think it's a model that is quite interesting, and I'm sure that here in Rwanda, where now most of the people speak at the same time English, Kiswahili, and French, you've got also certain ingredients to make a recipe that can make you extremely successful. And at the end of the day, you need one song, one hit, one super hit to make the difference.
For the whole country or for one artist?
Even for the whole country to make the difference, to start, really to exist to the rest of the world. And and the question is, who is the next artist here that can write and produce this song?
One song.
One song that will make. Look, Calm Down. Calm Down is a very good example of that.
Yeah.
Afrobeat was big already, but Calm Down took it to the next level because people in India, Calm Down was #1 during 24 weeks. Wow. Calm Down has been in the top 10 of the American Billboard for the last 40 weeks. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so it was #1 on TikTok at the time. So now a lot of people discover Nigeria. A lot of people don't even know about the existence of Nigeria through this music. So
through that one song, the Calm Down.
Remember a long time ago the song Lambada. La Lambada. It was maybe you are too young maybe for that.
Possibly.
It was a song from Latin America. It became a global hit. One song.
Yeah.
One song.
I'm taking that as a challenge, and I want to imagine Tom Close is watching, Bruce Melody is watching, The Ben, Kivumbi King, Aline Sano, and a lot of other Rwandan artists. As Olivier has said, we just need that one song. So who of you is going to sit down and write that one song that will put us on the map musically? You're watching The Real Talk on RTV. Use that hashtag to put in a word, a comment, a question. We will appreciate you talking to us. When we come back, it's 20 years of Trace. Welcome back. We're glad you're with us on The Real Talk. I'm talking to Olivier, who is the executive chairman and founder of Trace Group. You know Trace TV? And I am certain you know about Trace Awards now because it's been the talk of town. Olivier, it's been 20 years of Trace.
Yeah.
Wow.
20 years serving our people.
20 years serving your people, yeah.
Investing in entertainment and empowerment of our people. Yeah. 20 years of great memories. 20 years also sometimes of failures. We did failures. We don't talk that much about it, but people only remember the good things. It has been a challenging road, a challenging journey, but we are very proud of what we managed to build, and we are especially proud of the impact, the positive impact we've got on people, and not just for the creator economy, the artists, but as you may know, we have launched 2 years ago a platform in Trace Academia, which is a free e-learning platform, and we've got already more than 500,000 young people in Africa that are using this platform to learn jobs, to learn soft skills, to get access to employment. So yeah, we
Amazing.
entertain and we empower people.
And then you choose to celebrate the birthday from the land of 1,000 hills.
Absolutely.
Why did you choose us?
For multiple reasons. That's a question that comes very often. Why Rwanda?
Yeah.
First of all, you've got all the infrastructure to organize the big events. There's the big arena, the convention center. Second, it's a safe country. Third, the people are extremely warm. They welcome us with a lot of generosity. You feel that you are important for them, and they are quite professional in the way of preparing such an event. It's also, I think, corresponds to the vision of the country to become a cultural hub for the African continent. And we've been supported by RDB, by RCB, Visit Rwanda, and
Even RBA, talk about us.
even RBA also. RBA is going to be our partner to produce the audiovisual part of the event.
The people you see here will lead the production team.
Guys, get ready, because this production is complicated. We are going to have more than 50 artists, that will perform during the awards. The show will last certainly at least 4 hours. So take a bit of Red Bull before. Get ready, a lot of energy.
I love that.
We'll need you. Also there is this reality, to be very honest. If we do an award ceremony in Nigeria, everybody will think that the Nigerian people will get all the prizes. If we do it in South Africa, same thing. You are here in Rwanda a little bit neutral, which is very good for us. Wow. That we can do a lot of it with a little bit less passion and more, I would say, rational or less pressure. So so I think Rwanda ticked all the boxes.
That's nice.
And you've got the hotels,
and then
you've got the gorillas. If you want to stay 1 or 2 days more.
Exactly. The visitors don't have to leave immediately.
Absolutely.
They can stay on.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be, it's a full package. It's a celebration, a festival, not a one-day event. We've got live performances. A lot of artists will be.
It's just crazy because...
Take us through that.
No,
my God.
You're so right. It's not just an event.
Yeah.
So there are two
and
big
the awards
parts.
as well.
There are two big parts.
Yes.
You've got the award ceremony, which will be a televised ceremony with all nominees performing. This normally never happens during a normal traditional award. I told you.
All the nominees will perform.
All the nominees will perform.
Oh,
except
my
maybe
goodness.
1 or 2.
Yes.
I don't give you the name, but you can imagine. And depending on the last, I would say momentum that we'll have in our engagement with them. But let's say 95% of the nominees will perform. So you will have more than 46, 47 artists that will perform during the night.
That's big.
And it will be extremely vibrant. What we are doing also, I will not give all the secret.
No, don't.
But to have everybody performing without having a show that will last 10 hours, you need to organize collaboration. You need to organize unique pieces of music with different artists that normally never work together. So this is the magic that we are also going to bring. And we did it 10 years ago. We did the Trace Urban Music Award in France with a little bit the same format, but just for French artists, for French hip hop and African, Caribbean artists. And it was a massive success because you are going to see performances that you never watched before.
Yeah.
And people like that. And when you've got to see 2 of their preferred artists together, it's magic.
It's amazing.
So, and before the award, there will be a red carpet, Hollywood style. And we are going to have that. And during 3 days, from Friday 20th of October, Saturday and Sunday, we are going to have the Trace Festival. And the festival is about music also. There will be a lot of performances, showcase artists from the nominees, but also other artists will come and perform. Second, we are going to have a very strong dimension about conferences, panels, workshops, especially focused on the creative industries, with very practical also dimension, because we understood from our interaction here in Rwanda that a lot of young people are very interested by this job in the creative industry, and sometimes they like to have a little bit more expertise or more understanding of what these jobs are about. So we are going to have a very strong focus on this. Third, there'll be a big component about fashion and beauty, with also some catwalks and some designers coming. Fourth, you will have a marketplace with about 30 exhibitors, artisans from Rwanda, but people coming also from Ghana, from South Africa. Fourth, we are going, and this is more the trace part, we are going to present at this occasion two very important projects that we've been investing in for the last 2 years. First is a new streaming platform named Trace Plus, that we will launch at the occasion of this festival. Trace Plus will in fact aggregate all our TV channels, all our radios, all our content, Trace Academia, everything in one platform. It's a super app, very, very cool. And last but not least, we are going to present a new platform named Better. That is a platform that we are now launching in Africa to help the collective management organization, organizations that manage music rights, to help them really increase by 10, 15, 20, 50 folds the collection and the payment of music rights in Africa. Right now, just to give you two numbers, the music right paid last year in the world was about $10 billion. In Africa, only 32 billion, 0.3% of the total music right.
10 billion?
Yeah, 0.3.
In Africa, only 32
yeah, 32.
billion.
Why? Because it's very complicated and most governments can't afford to build the platform, the mechanism to collect the money, to make sure that you give the money to the right stakeholder. So we have developed a platform using the blockchain technology for that. And so we are going to present, you will have a world premiere. We are going to present this platform during the Trace Festival.
So you see, I was right to say it's not just an event.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
you are
quite
right.
big, yeah. Are people buying tickets? People being invited to this place? Will we have, okay, definitely we'll have enough space for all of us to be there. But what's the process of taking further requirements?
Yeah, no, but I think the capacity of the conference and the exhibition center is a few thousand people, so with people will not stay 24 hours. So yeah, everybody is welcome. It's quite cheap, I think. I can't remember, but it's a few thousand, from Rwanda. And there's a tariff for students, for families. So we want it to be very affordable for people. And then sometimes they will see great artists. Bruce Melody also will perform during the festival. Dom Sebo will perform. We're having the Soweto Gospel Corps, which is certainly one of the best gospel corps in the world.
Yes.
They'll be there with Dom Sebo, with some local gospel artists. Yeah, so on what we like also is to organize this conversation, this encounter between your local creators and also creators from the rest of the world, and organize this interaction, because we know that when artists meet each other, there's always something happening. And we believe that we are going to be in the right position to capture this or make it available to the mass audience.
Let's talk about investment, because I think one of the reasons the music scene has suffered is because some people look at it as not a very lucrative industry. But then here you are from Martinique, all the way from Martinique. You ended up in South Africa. You're investing in African music. So I would love you to speak to potential investors based on the continent who don't see, or rather don't look at it as something worth investing in.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because in fact, when we talk about the creator economy, it's an economy, it's a business. But unfortunately, most people don't take it that seriously. They think it's a hobby for certain people, whereas I can tell you the entertainment industry in the US is the third biggest industry of the entire industries in the US. And for their export is the second. So
the entertainment industry?
Yeah, entertainment industry. Wow. Yeah, if you add the like of CNN and Netflix, and they've got tons of companies doing that. So I think here in Africa, we've got the creativity, we've got the talent. What we don't have yet is all the infrastructure to make sure that, first of all, artists can monetize their talent in Africa. Second, we have to also change a little bit the mindset of traditional investors, because when you invest in creators, you don't have a tangible asset. You can't say, I will put a mortgage on my house if you give me money for my music. So you have to accept a certain level of risk. And you can't ask an artist, okay, I will give you money, but you have to pay me a 15% interest rate per year.
Or give me the logbook of your car.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work that way.
And also, there's a reality in Africa, the market is very fragmented. A lot of small players. So what we are trying to do at Trace is also to consolidate a little bit this market, to also bring solutions like the better solution I mentioned to you about music right collection, that we can propose solution for artists to really own their worth and monetize their talent. And eventually, you will see, and what is happening right now with Afrobeat is very interesting, you will see that people will start to understand that this is a business. There is money there. And everybody, you don't have an event in Africa without music. It's impossible. Music is everywhere. But less than 1% of the people who should pay for music right pays really. So imagine you go from 1% to 10% to 20, 50. It's a game changer. We believe that we can go from 32 million music rights paid in Africa to $1 billion music rights paid in Africa in 5 years with the solution we are going to propose. That's our target. It will be a game changer for the continent, because right now, most of the artists are really struggling.
They're struggling.
They don't make, and so they are supported by friends, family, but it's not real life. They can't buy an apartment, they can't buy a car. It's a disaster.
It's hand to mouth.
Yeah,
actually.
the revenue are ups and downs. So yeah, we are going to contribute to create a new economy of the music business in Africa. And what we are doing for music, we may be able to do it also for more different type of arts.
Just a reminder of Beta. What is that about?
So Better is a platform that will help collect and pay music rights in all African countries. We are going certainly to launch this platform in 2 or 3 African countries at the beginning of next year. It's a blockchain-based platform where you identify the songs, and then the song will go and have its life on the marketplace. But thanks to the internet or thanks to connected device, we know when, where, how the song is played. This information will go to the platform, and based on the digital identification of each song, we can say, okay, this was played there, this has to pay this amount of money, and now we are going to pay back the artist from the right he's supposed to get from this platform. So it's not extremely complicated, but it requires an entire ecosystem, a lot of bricks to put together.
Yeah.
This is what we are doing right now. So we're investing about $5 million right now to develop this platform, and on the pilot will be presented in Kigali. We'll have a world premiere.
Oh yes, I thought we'll be there to witness it. You know, I was going to ask you how Trace is adapting to the changing trends and the technology, but right there, I guess, is one of the answers. You know,
you got it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the Trace bus, because you moved from being just TV and radio to all these.
So we'll be in the future. Trace will be an hybrid company with a traditional media component, but also with digital platform. What is the beauty of the digital platform? This is a scalable business.
Yeah.
And in fact, you can go anywhere in the world with digital, in real time. So because of the fact that Africa has got certainly the biggest diaspora in the world, we are going also to capture this business of the diasporas. You know, for instance, 2 years ago, we launched Trace in Brazil. Brazil is a country of 220 million people. 50% of the population is of African origins. And they don't have one media that will capture really their identity, their culture. So we launched Trace Brazil. And now we've got already 20 million people watching us this channel. We are doing event. We just helped Rema to book a big concert in Salvador de Bahia in December. He will perform in front of 300,000 people. And so we want to be the bridge connecting all the people of African origin in the world.
When you started this journey, did you envision this?
Absolutely, yes.
You saw it.
Yes.
So today you're a fulfilled
no,
man.
No, because I tell you, my background being from Martinique, this tiny island, having this vision that the world is a village, on understanding also the mentality of the different communities from this, I would say, global black village, helped me a lot. Because it's me. When I visited Brazil the first time, I was 12 years old. Then I went to Africa. I told you, to Senegal. I used to go quite often to Europe. I was lucky. I was blessed. I could travel. I could see also this reality of black people in multiple countries. So I wanted. Maybe I didn't know that I will do it to the extent
that you have.
we are now. But it was a vision. It was a vision.
Amazing. So what are the opportunities that are available for local and regional artists and entertainers that will be part of the festival?
First of all, the festival is a mega platform for them to be known by the rest of the world. Because the awards, for instance, will be broadcasted not only on Trace Channel, on RBA, but there are about 20 other big channels in the world that are taking this show as a live or with a 2 or 3 days delay, because some channels can't play a show of 4 hours a little bit, so we make an edit version and make sure that we keep some Rwandese content in it. On second, they will engage with other artists. They will learn from the other. I think it's certainly the best learning you can have, what we call the peer-to-peer learning, because not all artists are at the same level. And even if they are at the same level, but they will always learn from
each other. Learning never stops.
I'm sure that after this award, we'll see certain combination, certain collaboration that we could not even imagine. So this is what we are expecting, is first of all to have a great show. People will love it, and we are putting significant resources behind this show. We are talking about a multi-million dollar show. It will be a superb platform for all your artists to be known from Brazil to the Caribbean to the Indian Ocean, China, Malaysia. We've got operation in all these countries, and we'll put these awards everywhere.
We're looking forward to that. And maybe just before we go to 6Qs, if you can specifically state how the young and upcoming artists can take advantage of Trace to maximize their potential.
I think there are different, very practical solutions. First, come to the festival, because there will be a lot of workshops, panels, master classes about the music industry. The music industry is a very complicated industry, especially at the music right level. Most of the artists do not know their right. In fact, they don't understand the publisher, the performer, the composer, the other, you name it. So we are going to explain that. We are even going to showcase 2 or 3 new courses that will be available on Trace Academia that we've just developed with the SACEM. SACEM is the biggest company in the world that collect music rights. And they are coming, we developed something, we are going somehow to educate the market, to really teach the young people. Second thing, we are going to have a lot of these young stars to perform during the festival. So it will be also another platform. We are going to have to produce a lot of original content at this occasion that will be shared on a social network, on a media. On third, like I said, for the big names, they will meet other artists. And this engagement is certainly going to produce wonders.
Yeah. When is it happening?
From the 20th to the 22nd of October. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days.
At different venues. BK Arena?
BK Arena is just for the big awards on Saturday evening, and also the red carpet. But all the rest, it's at the conference on the exhibition center.
We're talking to the executive chairman of Trace Group, Olivier. When we return, we'll be looking at his 6Qs. This is The Real Talk. Welcome back. It is The Real Talk. My name is Jackie. Our guest is Olivier. Our 6Qs, Olivier. Quick ones. Who's your favorite artist?
I'm a big fan of Bob Marley.
Of?
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Caribbean guy. And I learned how to speak English.
Because of him.
Thanks to him.
And I think that is also a very safe answer for you
Yeah.
because you're in this place where you're working with a lot of musicians. You cannot start saying Rema,
Yeah.
Bruce Melody, Burna Boy. Could land you in trouble.
Yeah.
So safe answer.
Bob Marley is not only a great artist,
Yeah.
but he was a philosopher. He was also, I learned so much with him about the reality of our culture, our past, our roots.
Yeah.
And also, he was an artist on a mission. He had a vision. He wanted to bring people of African origin together. And I think somehow I follow a little bit his steps.
I totally agree with you on that. He was on another level.
Yeah.
Second question, what's your worst childhood memory?
Wow. Yeah. It's a crazy thing. I wear glasses, and one day I was 11 years old. I just had new glasses that was quite expensive at the time. And I went on a boat in Martinique, and somehow the boat capsized, and I lost my glasses. And it was the beginning of the summer holidays, and I couldn't go back to make new glasses. So I couldn't see that much, and it was.
You must have suffered.
Oh, a little bit.
And your parents didn't spunk you for losing such expensive glasses?
No. I didn't do it on purpose, but it was, it's more funny than anything else.
Yeah.
No, I think, as I told you, I've been quite fortunate, privileged during my childhood, so I don't have that many bad memories.
Actually, yeah, maybe I should have just asked you, what's your best? Because even you still, you even laughed. You talked about the worst memory and you still laughed about it. Okay. Yeah. Question number 3, what's your favorite pastime? Your hobby?
Wow, I like sailing.
Sailing?
Because same thing when you're on the small island, being on the boat, and it's very quiet, and you have to have respect for the sea. The sea is always bigger, stronger than you, and you have to learn how it works, and that puts you at your real level. We are just like
it humbles you.
Yeah, very, very humble.
Yeah. And then, what's your best date idea?
I don't answer to this question. My wife will not accept that I answer to this question.
No, answer it.
Maybe a date with my wife. A date with my wife.
Well,
yeah,
definitely a date with your wife. It could only be your wife, Olivier, not any other person.
Yeah.
So,
I've got a problem. I should not even have thought about it. Can you
no,
imagine?
you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Problem.
Exactly, because my question was innocent. I had your wife in mind.
I don't know.
You're going to answer back. When you get back home, you'll be in trouble. So what's the best date idea with your wife?
I think we like traveling and going to, last year we went to India during nearly 1 month. It was great. It was great because we're in a completely different culture. We started with what we call, the Ayurvedic session, a place where you don't eat any meat, and they do you some treatment, very tough. And it was great because, at the end of the day, you were in front of yourself, but you could share this experience with someone that you love. And after we went to visit India, it was great. So I like to go to places that are very different to the places that I travel a lot. I travel nearly 6-7 months per year. Yeah. But there are still so many places in the world that I don't know.
You're very interesting, because if I had asked probably another man or these colleagues of mine, what's your best date idea? Probably they would have said, maybe a drink out there with some bruschetta and a drink. Your date idea is a whole month, Olivier, you're special. And then what do you love between sports and music?
I love both.
Okay.
I love both. On both sides, I don't practice that much. I've got one regret in my life, is not to be able to play a music instrument.
You don't play any?
No, I don't play. I wanted to do that when I was a bit younger, but I told you I was not very disciplined, so my parents took me to this school of music, and they expelled me because I was not following the rules.
Yeah. And then the last question is, if you were to be stuck on an island with a playlist of your favorite songs, which one would come number 1?
Oh, it will be a lot of Caribbean music, from Kassav, from Bob Marley, from Karimi.
I love Ole by Kassav.
Yeah. And all the members of the group were friends of mine. And also, I like very much Latin music, Brazilian music. Like, big fan of bossa nova, which is very chill. And also we'll have some very strong hits from Africa.
So you're picking your one song. The number one song will not be easy, yeah?
Wow, well, it's one song. It's Redemption Song or Buffalo Soldier from Bob Marley.
Redemption.
That are really something that it will
Yeah.
never age. I think in
Yeah.
20 years from now, we listen to it the same way I listened to it from the first time when I was in Martinique.
Yeah, it's a classic hit.
Yeah, yeah.
Olivier, it's been such a pleasure sitting down with you.
My
Thank you for
pleasure.
making time and honoring our invitation.
Okay, thank you. It was a great interview.
We do wish you all the best as you prepare, and we're certainly looking forward to the festival. We will be there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're right to wish me good luck because it's a complex
You need it.
event. I need it. I badly need it.
Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this conversation with the executive chairman of Trace Group. We will have the Trace Awards taking place. The festival is taking place between the 20th and the 22nd of October, with the main event happening at the BK Arena, and then we'll have others at Kigali. You need to visit the different social media platforms and get to know what to do. If you have to vote for somebody, you want to know what prizes the winning artists will get. We couldn't have enough time for all those questions, but there are different platforms where you can find that. So please go visit the websites and inform yourself. My name is Jackie Lumbasi. It has been a pleasure being here with you and having our amazing guests. We look forward to seeing you again next week. God bless you.